Welcome everyone. I'm super excited. We're going to be talking about Sudowoodo, and they are really, really cool. So, Sudowoodo was pretty bad. It just was very underwhelming. I mean, yeah, it's not bad. Like it didn't have terrible stats or anything, but it just didn't have anything remarkable about it whatsoever. Um, the only decent thing it had access to being like Rockhead Woodhammer, I guess. It's just not impressive. Um, so I've given it some amazing new tools. There's two things that might strike people as weird here just by looking at it. Number one, the speed stat. Number two, contrary. So contrary is actually that is extremely fitting for it, in my opinion, but I'll cover that after. First, I want to address the speed stat because that one is definitely weirder to a lot of people, um, especially because of how slow it was before. So the way I see Sudowoodo, I think it's even like gifs of it. Hold on. Like he is pretty nimble looking. Like he's skinny and agile looking enough to have a solid speed set. I can kind of see him like running around and shit. That's a funny gif. Like he actually looks pretty flexible and like like he could run around and stuff and do some flips and shit. Like my man is kind of what the fuck is what is yo, if you're a listener who listens to these in the background, which I have nothing against that. I do the same thing with videos. Come and look at this fucking GIF. What the hell? Okay, let me get off Google Images before something bad comes up. um, Point being, he does look relatively nimble. And there was really nowhere else for the base stats to go outside of making him kind of slower and then putting some useless stats into special attack to hit 480, and I just am not a fan of that. I don't see over 105 attack for this man. I mean, yeah, he's like a hard little rock dude. He can smack kind of hard, but like 105 is already plenty high. He doesn't. I don't see over 105 attack for him, and I also don't see over 115 defense. He doesn't look that hard. I don't see more HP, and I really in the special defense that's like the highest I'd put it was 85. So there's nowhere else I could put the stats anyways. But it doesn't change that I actually do genuinely think that, or anyway, I think anywhere from like 60 to like 75 speed fits Sudowoodo really nicely. Um, And the beautiful thing is with the speed stat, you can really, really, really take advantage of a lot of stuff. So contrary, the logic of contrary. So I want to say two things before I get into the logic of why it has contrary, because there is logic there and it does make sense and it does fit in my opinion. Before I get into that, if you're new here and you're just tuning into this video, or if you just, you're kind of familiar with my work, but you haven't you don't remember every little detail about every move. I have made tons of new moves that work like Draco Meteor. So I will show those right now. Essentially, these are powerful moves that are 150 base power, 100% accurate, and they drop your highest, they drop the attacking stat that you're using to use it by 2. So Sudowoodo gets a good amount of these. Sudowoodo also gets other moves that drop your stats, but most importantly, he has access to Superpower, Rock Wrecker, and Giga Impact via TM. So Giga Impact is TM, and he also has Frenzy Plant. I know that. So okay. Also, another thing I want to cover is why he is not Grass Rock. I think most people know that Grass Rock is stupid as hell for him, but if you do not understand why, he is not a plant in the slightest. He is a rock. The whole point is that he is trying to imitate it, and that he cannot. He's super weak to rock, and he's actually super weak to rain and water. He's similar to rock rather than vegetation. Blah blah blah. However, he already so the reason I gave him grass moves is because he already learned Woodhammer. So if he can get Woodhammer, then what's to say he can't get Frenzy Plant, which is like tree roots coming out of the ground, by the way. The animation just shows like a bunch of tree roots slamming the target from below. So I can even say like. Sure. Or I'll even say assaults if are good. Sure. I mean, that's not the greatest description wording, but I don't give a fuck. These don't matter. Also, really random note is if you don't know, I could give him Drop Kick, but he's not super droppable. It's fine. What am I trying to say here? Sudowoodo. What am I? No. The descriptions in game are changed. They even have the statistics in them, so it'll every single description in the game is changed. Like a lot. Obviously, a lot of moves are changed, but even if the move wasn't technically changed or the effect wasn't changed, only the power was, I still changed the description to say like, oh, it's contact. It has this % chance to do this effect, that type of thing. So you don't have to memorize these or anything. You will see them in game as you play. It's not like I'm just expecting people to memorize all these changes. That would be absolutely absurd. So yeah, every single move description has the exact effects like written and built in. So that's really helpful. But anyways, yeah, you have Frenzy Plant Superpower, Giga Impact, and Rock Wrecker. Rock Wrecker being Stab, and these are all 100 base power, 100. Sorry, let me rephrase. These are all 150 base power, 100% accurate, and they well in normal Pokemon cases they would drop your attack or special attack by 2, which is really a fair effect, and they're still very powerful because if you used it twice in a row, it's 225 base power, or in Giga Impact's case, it is 240 base power. Divide that by 2, that's 120. Divide Frenzy Plant or Rock Wrecker by 2, that's 75. Plus 150, that's 225. Divide that by 2. The point is like the average power is very good for using these moves twice in a row. Like you can't. It's not like using it twice in a row is weak. It's very powerful. But in Sudowoodo's case, because of the ability Contrary, he gets +2 attack after he uses these moves. So Frenzy Plant and Superpower are great coverage. Giga Impact is a reteachable TM, and you'll probably get this TM slightly earlier than you hit level 60. You'll probably get that TM, be getting that TM anywhere from like 53-ish to like 58, 59, depending on the exact level curve, but you'll be in the mid 50s for sure by the time you get Giga Impact. And Hyper Beam, obviously Hyper Beam not being relevant here. Same for Strength, which I'll cover in a second. That's really cool too. He has like close combat type moves to boost his defenses as well, and he has one more move to boost his speed, and it's really cool. But yeah, just having flat out Frenzy Plant, Superpower, Rock Wrecker, Giga Impact, like you could even run all 4 of those moves if you really wanted to. I mean, that is amazing. You can run Choice Scarf, Rock Wrecker, and just boom, 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 go to fucking town. So one thing I have made sure of is that no Contrary Pokemon has higher than 100 base speed. I believe the fastest will be getting too soon in Johto, actually, and it will be having 95 base speed. So there's no Contrary ones that are faster than 95 base speed just for balancing reasons, because it's kind of like, for example, Superior had Contrary, but there's actually a different grass type with Contrary that fits Contrary more, in my opinion. I think you guys know which one it is, because it's already a pure grass type with Contrary, and sort of a Superior would overlap too much with that. But anyways, it's also way too fast. It's just too fast. It's too strong. And its new abilities for Superior can be really awesome when we get to that eventually. Those would be really cool too. But anyways, yeah, that's a balancing reason. So Sudowoodo is still on the faster end of those Contrary mons, though. If I can think of all of them in my head right now, I'm not going to say them out loud because it's spoilers, but Sudowoodo. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3. I think that's about 4 or 5 Contrary mons, maybe. 6, no, 5 or 6, something like that. And yeah, they all kind of use it amazingly now because of these new moves that I've added in and have changed. So yeah, Rock Wrecker is the same as Draco Meteor or Cycle Boost, whatever, all these moves that used to drop your stats. But same with Frenzy Plant and Superpower and Giga Impact. So those are all great with Contrary. You also have access to okay, before I talk about the other options, actually I'll quickly list them and then I'll go more in depth. Strength and Close Combat via TM, as well as Head Smash, give you +1 to both your defenses, so they'll give you a cosmic power boost. Strength and Close Combat are 120 base power, 100% accurate, no downsides besides lowering your defenses, but in this case obviously they'll give you +1 to both your defenses. And then what am I trying to say here? Strength and Close Combat, and then Head Smash is 150 base power, 100% accurate. It drops both your defenses by 1, and it has 25% recoil. But that's very reliable still. And of course, instead of getting your defenses dropped, you'll be getting +1 defenses. So that's 10 levels earlier than Rock Wrecker, so you could totally take advantage of Head Smash for your stab rock move with Contrary. The recoil is not a big deal. You can always run Shell Bell, which will heal 20% of that. So it'll heal 20%, meaning the net recoil is only 5%. So you could totally run that if that bothers you, or you can run Branch Leech to heal. Or I would also say that Wood Hammer, Brutal Swing, and Head Smash with Shell Bell is a very good set, as well as Takedown, Play Rough, and Wild Charge for recoil moves. Takedown, Play Rough, and Wild Charge being TMs. Those are 110 base power. So I think you could totally really take advantage of a Head Smash recoil move set with Shell Bell until you get access to the other stat dropping moves like Hammer Arm. Hammer Arm is the last one, and Hammer Arm boosts your speed by 1. So Hammer Arm is stronger I just got a stupid pop-up thing. Cancel. Okay. Hammer Arm gives you +1 speed each time you use it. And it also grounds flying and levitating Pokemon like Smackdown does, which is not the biggest thing in the world, but it's still nice and cool to have that effect, especially because you can, for example, if they're like levitating, or if they're a levitated Pokemon, you can hit them with like an Earthquake or a Seismic Fist or a Megaton Kick or whatever other ground type move you have. That's cool, but that's not the main reason you're using it. It's just a cool little thing I threw in there. The main reason you're using it is just for the fact that it's 120 base power, 90% accurate, which is solid. And then that speed drop is normally given to Pokemon that are already slow for the most part, so or they learn it early, so like that speed drop is not a big deal. But in Sudowoodo's case, it gets +1 speed. Literally, the only downside is that it's 90% accurate. But you can also just run Wide Lens if you wanted to. Wide Lens is totally a good option there. You can also run Wide Lens with like Stone Edge or something. Those will both not miss with the Wide Lens now, because Wide Lens boosts by 15%. So yeah, that's awesome with Contrary, right? It's extremely powerful. And Contrary is also useful in the early game, very useful in the early game, actually. It's actually useful throughout the game. But before you get these moves, obviously these moves make it incredible, but before that, it's still a very useful ability. So before I get into the details of that, I want to talk about the logic, because I haven't done that yet. I'm sure some of you guys are still scratching your heads like, oh, what's with the Contrary? So if I look at the list of Pokemon that do get Contrary, so the Japanese name is called Devil's Advocate. Okay, so it's kind of weird. It's a really weird ability. Essentially, Pokemon that are opposites get this. So, for example, Spinda is fucking weird and opposite whatever. Spinda gets it. Shuckle will not retain it because it'll have better, even fucking cooler, funny ability. It's gonna be fun. Shuckle's gonna be really fun. I'm just laughing thinking about it. It's not even like a joke. It's just funny that it can do it and actually be like good at it. But anyways, that'll be a fun video. Malamar, Malamar does fit both. So basically, there's two logics for Contrary. Then the first logic is like, okay, this Pokemon is reverse. This Pokemon is like upside down, or like the opposite of what you would think, kind of. It's hard to explain, but how do I word that better? Like Malamar's upside down. Spinda is like this confused Pokemon that's like, tangled around and it's confused all the time and it's like dancing around. Lurantis, so basically the main reason I give it is because of Lurantis. So since Lurantis logically makes sense for Contrary, Sudowoodo being another mimic makes a lot of sense. It's like, oh, it's Contrary, like it's the opposite of what you expect. You expect it to be a grass type, but it's actually a rock type. You expect Lurantis to be a bug, but it's actually made of plants. It's not a bug at all. That's the whole thing. They're mimics. They're imitating what they're supposed to be or what they look like. And that's really cool, and that's why I think Contrary fits them specifically very well. Yes, Superior also makes sense because it's like, it's all uptight and smart, full of itself or whatever, and Contrary, meaning Devil's Advocate, kind of fits in the Japanese word, but in English it also fits. And of course, nothing about Shuckle is Devil's Advocate. Shuckle's just a joke. So the point is, like, this weird little fucker, like it makes a lot of sense for Sudowoodo, given that he again pretends to be a plant or a tree in this case. So yeah, same logic as Lurantis, essentially. So if that's the logic, you just point to Lurantis, you say, okay, same exact reason. And also, it's just really fucking cool. I mean, it's really, really powerful and fun. And I think that also takes, not priority, but that makes it even more worth doing, So I hope that cleared that up for anybody. As for Sap Sipper, that is more of a nod to the fact that, number one, people do want Grass Rock. Stupid people, no offense, I'm sorry, it's just dumb, but that's very lighthearted. I don't think anybody's stupid for wanting a fucking Pokemon and a hack to be a certain type. Like, I'm kidding around, but it is a non-logical choice. Like, it does go against what Sudowoodo is. It would be like making Azumarill fire type or something. That's not a fair comparison. All right, look, let me just shut up about it. I'm sure most of you guys watching this probably also think it's dumb anyways, so I'm not gonna dwell on it anymore. And if you are offended because you think it's a cool change, then I'm sorry for offending you. So either way, Sap Sipper is really cool because it's, even though like it logically it's not the most fitting thing, like they don't eat plants or anything, but I just think it's cool. They live in vegetation, they pretend to be plants, so it's cool that they're then immune to grass. I just think it's cool, and it's also a very useful ability, being a pure rock type that's immune to grass, and also boosts its own attack stat each time you get hit by a grass move. So not only are you immune to grass, but you also get that attack boost. So that's great. That's great for all of the game, even at the end, even in the late game. Once you get all these like Contrary moves, you can still make use of Sap Sipper in certain sets. So that's really cool. So that's really cool. Step Sip is great. All right, I don't think I need to explain that anymore. It's just a very useful ability, and you have access to infinite usability capsules. So, you know, you can always just run Step Sipper when there's a grass Pokemon that you need to switch into, or a grass type move you need to switch into to get that boost. Another really awesome thing you can do with Sudowoodo is Z moves for Omni boosting. I did make sure, and I did test it and check it and Google it to make sure that the boosting Z moves still work with Contrary, and they do. Same goes for Simple. So, or rather, it doesn't work with Simple. So basically, Contrary and Simple do not affect stat boosts from Z moves. So Z Mimic and Z Acclimate, both of which give you +1 to all your stats, will still give you +1 to all your stats. Same goes for any other Z move that gives you stat boosts, which pretty much basically all of the status Z moves give you a boost or heal you. So and a good boost at that. So you can always use those to set up on a contrary set, and then you can still click your moves. But I'll get into that in a little bit. First, I wanted to cover the uses of contrary outside of like these specific moves. So contrary is also useful just to like, okay, for example, early game, you have Bonsai, right? And that first island is going to be tons of mons that are using Baby Doll Eyes, Plain Ice, Tearful Look. And then in the mid-20s is when it really starts to get amazing, in the mid-30s, because in the mid-20s and 30s, like every Pokemon in the entire goddamn hack learns some type of stat dropping move and will be using it against you. Or you can, you know, you can't use it on the trainers, for example, like a contrary Bonsai or contrary Sudowoodo, you can't charm it, it'll get +2 attack. You can't scary face it, it'll get +2 speed, +1 attack. You can't leer it, it'll get +2 defense. You can't screech it, it'll get +1 to both its defenses. Do you get the idea? Like, it's just a really useful ability. You can instantly switch that in to any stat dropping move whenever, even the offensive ones. So for example, even a move that he has Rock Smash, for example. Rock Smash is 85 base power and always drops defense. You know, switch it into a Rock Smash. Now you got +1 defense. Oh, Skitter Smack, drop special attack. Switch it into a Skitter Smack. God. Switch it into a Skitter Smack. You get +1 special attack. Obviously, that's not useful in this case, but you get the idea. You know, switch it into a Parting Shot. You get +1 attack. You know, you can really punish these types of things. It's super cool and super fun. And it's really easy to take advantage of. Again, all you need to do is just run that ability capsule. If you see in the sheets that this opponent is having this move, you just give your Sudowoodo contrary and you switch it in on that move, and you switch it on that move, and you're chilling. You know, you got that boost for free. It's really useful on Bonsai. And then at level 20, just in time for Hala, you will get that evolution into Sudowoodo. It's not extremely powerful early game. No, sorry, it's very good early game because of how strong just its stats are. But then like, it's not like there's even stronger level 20 evolutions. It's really not that crazy. You know, it's 105 attack. It's got Rock Blast at by level 20, and then it of course gets better rock moves once you beat Hala and get TMs, and you get Smackdown to 26. Smackdown being 80 base power, just a solid 80 base power move. Rock Slide is 95 base power, 95% accuracy. Rock Smash is 85 base power, always drops defense, and is 100% accurate. Head Smash, Rock Quick are both 100% accurate. So you have tons of 100% accurate, reliable rock type moves, with the most inaccurate one being Stone Edge, which is 90% accurate. So most moves are not inaccurate anymore. Very few are. The lowest accuracy of most widespread moves is like 85, and there's a couple that are 80, but like very few moves are below 80. Extremely few. And extremely few are below 85, to be honest. But this is not super relevant for Sudowoodo. So back on topic. I'll have to sneeze. God, I hate that feeling. Okay. Back on topic. You have Sediment for reliable recovery. You have a Settle Rock for priority, which is good. You have access to regular setup moves with Bulk Up and Swords Dance, which you can use on Sapsipper sets really nicely. You also have really good utility like Parting Shot, Tearful Look, Sediment. Z Copycat will give you +2 attack and then repeat the move that they just used. Branch Leech is a semi-exclusive move. Also, that reminds me I have to add Sudowoodo to the speed tier guide, and I have to add him to the Branch Leech section on the sheets. Let me do that for the signature moves. It's not signature, but it's like exclusive, so you know, only a few other Pokemon will have this. Hold on. There we go. So this is why it's so stubby. There we go. That was weird. He's still kind of stubby actually, but it's whatever. I'll just ignore it. So that is a 90 base power move. It's just 90 base power physical Giga Drain. It's just a really nice option because a lot of things that resist rock are weak to ground. So for example, rock itself, sorry, not rock itself, ground. Is that it? I said a lot in the being one type. I think it's just that, yeah. but it's still a useful coverage, right? It's still very useful coverage. You're also super effective against things that are strong against you. Obviously, you still have other coverage for that. For example, for water, you have Thunder Punch, but you also have these grass moves, which is really nice. Well, Thunder Punch and Wild Charge. And if you're wondering why does it not have Rockhead? I'd rather have Rockhead than Sab Sipper, for example. There are other rock types with Rockhead. Sudowoodo would be extremely unremarkable if it kept, in this case, would be Headstrong. It would be extremely unremarkable. It would just be kind of outclassed by the other Headstrong mons. Even though there aren't, I don't think there's a pure Rock Headstrong mon, technically, because Pure Rock is actually kind of uncommon, especially now with the changes. But like Pure Rock, how many Pure Rocks? Let's see my list again. There's not that many. Pure Rock is. Can I please find it? There are 5 Pure Rock types. 2 of them being from one evolutionary line, and then the other one being a pre-evolution. So there's only 2. There's only 3 fully evolved Pure Rock types, which is cool. I like that actually. Anyways, yeah, I mean, okay, so Z Copycat plus 2 attack. You also have Counter, which is just nice utility. Wood Hammer and Brutal Swing are just good coverage, and they're strong moves. Level 50 is very early for that powerful of a move, honestly. I just threw it on there because why not? You know, you have better stuff like Contrary, and it's Sudowoodo. Honestly, if Sudowoodo ends up being like OP with Contrary, like, that's fun. Like, a lot of stuff is strong. It's really not the end of the world. I don't have to worry about it too much. Especially because it speeds that while it is good, you still need to like click Hammer Arm first, or you need to run Priority or something. You know what I mean? Like, or you can run like a Head Smash plus a Cell Rock set, or sorry, Superpower, Frenzy Plant, Giga Impact, or Rock Wrecker plus a Cell Rock, whatever it is, you know, for priority, or Sucker Punch for priority, which is reteachable priority, or First Impression, which doesn't work actually with that. You only use it on the first turn. But anyways, also another weird move people might be eyeing in the corner is Acrobatics. It's just the same. There's this one GIF. I know that he's like spinning around. Oh, hold on. He's like jumping around and shit, and I just can't unsee it. Hold on. Not this one. Oh, this one's really cute. I've seen this one. look at my man go. He's so cute. Dude, this GIF is so weird. Why is Rock licking his Sudowoodo? Yo. Somebody put this man in jail. Look at them. Like they're like look at them all bounce. Like look at them. Like, look at that motherfucker in the background, dude. He's vibing. I don't know. I really do see acrobatics and like good speed on them. I see them like just dancing around and running around and shit. Like I see it. They're not like they look nimble, you know. Also, faster rock types, pure rock types is cool. So all rock types have to be slow. So yeah, that is that. Lastly, I want to cover some other stuff. So there is Acclimate and Mimic. Z Mimic at level 53 is very good. And like I said, you'll still get the Omni boost. So you'll get +1 to your 75 base speed. At +1 speed or with a Scarf boost, you're really fast. Like even with the neutral nature, you're hitting 373 speed, which is like, what is that equivalent to like a Jolly 120 base speed Pokemon? Yep, I know my shit, dude. So that's outspeeding base 120 mons. So all of these mons on the at +1 speed. So a Choice Scarf Sudowoodo is outspeeding all of the Pokemon below this tier. So like right now, this is all the mons. Obviously gonna be more, but you know you're outspeeding Dugtrio, Alakazam, Porygon Z, Persian, Starmie, Tauros, all these Pokemon, all of the base 120 and below Pokemon, you're outspeeding after one Choice Scarf. On a neutral nature Sudowoodo. On a plus speed nature, you're probably outspeeding way more. And you can also run stuff like Rock Polish on stab sit resets. Rock Polish giving you +2 speed and +1 accuracy, which you can also use to use inaccurate moves like Stone Edge better. And Hammer Arm, although Hammer Arm is not great unless you're running Contrary. Excuse me. But it's amazing on Contrary. I mean, I would totally run that up a superpower. And then I would run like Frenzy Plant or Giga Impact, depending on what the coverage I need is. And then I don't know, it really just depends on what point in the game you're at and what your other teammates are and stuff, and whatever fight is coming up. But even stuff like Head Smash and Close Combat and Strength are great because you become really bulky. At +1 Spit F and +1 defense, you're super tanky. And you also have reliable recovery with Sediment, which heals you by 50% or 2/3 in the sand. Also, it's good under sand if that's not obvious. And then you can really also abuse stuff like Drain Punch for healing as well. So that's all really awesome. Shell Bell, like I said, Shell Bell works, especially because you're going to be doing a lot of damage, so you can totally run Shell Bell. It's just a fun ass fucking Pokemon now. Like, look at my man. I don't even like Sudowoodo that much. I think he's kind of boring, but I don't know. He deserves good things. So, Yeah, Z Mimic gives you +1 to your stats, and it permanently learns a move by the opponent. So it makes you very strong, very fast, and very bulky. It's just a good move, and that works with Contrary. So you can run Contrary, Rock Wrecker, and Frenzy Plan, and all that stuff after you get that Omni Boost with Z Mimic. And you can also, again, permanently. English is hard. You can permanently learn any move that the opponent uses for the rest of that fight. Obviously, it's not like sketch, but it's like a temporary sketch. Basically, you learn that move for the rest of the fight, and yeah. And it's priority 2, so you can really control what move you mimic. You know, you switch your Sudowoodo in on a move, boom, now or you protect to like guarantee that move. If you really want to move specific move for a specific strategy, it's totally worth doing. Lastly, the Acclimate at level 63, 10 levels after Mimic, you can change your type, which is really, really cool. So it's kind of almost like terrestrializing in a way. We're like, oh my god, he's grass type now. It's kind of funny. I like that he can change to a grass type with this move. So you change the type of the move that is on the top of your move slot, and you get +1 to all your stats. So you can use that with Contrary and just go to town. So you can use the Acclimate Contrary, turn into a pure fighting type, run Hammer Arm and Superpower. You get Stab Hammer Arm, Stab Superpower. You could turn into a grass type, get Frenzy Plant with Contrary. You could turn into a normal type and get Giga Impact, which is actually stronger than Head Smash and Frenzy Plant and Superpower. So with Stab, it'll be stronger. So that's also very worth doing. You know, it could turn into a fighting type and get close combat. You could Z Acclimate fighting type, and you could literally run all fighting type moves. You could run Hammer Arm, Superpower, and close combat, and just have +1 speed, +1 defenses, +2 attack, and have that be your entire move set. Obviously, that's not ideal. You want the coverage and stuff, but it's worth, you know, if whatever boss trainer is in front of you has no fighting resist, then go for it. That's like a totally viable and powerful ass move set. It's fun, all right. It's really fucking fun to use. I for one would like to use one. I mean, I'd like to use everything on this, but I just think that Sudowoodo deserved good, so I gave him really good stuff. You know, again, like I said, I do give more attention. Not that I don't give, like, I give more love to the Pokemon that were either ones that I absolutely adored, or ones that really needed it, you know, because that's part of the soul of this hack is like, okay, this is supposed to make every Pokemon viable. So obviously the old good mons or the relatively good mons are still going to be way better, but also the shit mons got to get a lot of love. So Sudowoodo is another one of those cases. I'm not going to waste time listing all these coverage moves. You guys can read. I trust you guys have eyes to read this. You can see all these moves. You know it, hopefully what they all do by now, but if not, you can always check out the Google sheet yourself and just see yourself, you know, see what these moves do. You can always Control F and search up literally any move, and they're all here listed out. With all the changes and everything. So that's super fucking cool. I hope this was entertaining. It was. I think it would be. I hope. If you find this kind of thing interesting or fun, or you're interested in this, please subscribe. If you like, share my stuff, or you know, just tell your friend. Like if you have friends that like play Pokemon, you know, or do ROM hacks, or like online friends, you know, share this in Discord servers, whatever the fuck it is. Tell people about it. That really does help. It gives me exposure, and that's really all I ask for. Is recognition. That's the only thing I want, obviously, and of course to play this myself. This is extremely self-indulgent. Like even if I had fucking 10 people who were playing it too, I would still make this because I just want to play it myself. But it does motivate me a lot when I get people like, you know, supporting me and being like, okay, I'm excited, I'm waiting for this. It's like, okay, now I have actual fans that are recognizing this, and that's really awesome. So I do appreciate everybody who's here listening. Thank you for listening this far if you did. If you are new here and you didn't sub yet, you definitely should be at this point. And if you are a sub and you're just, you know, listening to me talk, I really do appreciate it, guys. I really do. It means a lot. So thank you. Thank you for letting me justify doing this. I would still do it anyways. You know, it's a passion project, but at the end of the day, it does feel better when I know that people want to play it. So yeah, thanks everybody. This is gonna be this was a fun video. So yeah. What? Can I not stop the recording? There we go. Oh, Dooz. Okay, we're good. See you, everybody. Thank you for listening to this one. I'll be back soon with more.